Shall we actually start? Because I turned it on just before you said vagina.
Fantastic. Okay. So PBFB is an attempt at filming 2 years of my life as a kind of video diary documentary, offering it a bit extra context by filming an entire year in secret and then an entire another year and mixing them together. So it becomes like a conversation between my last year former self and my this year current self, to see how much has changed in exactly a year from that day. When I came up with it, I thought that it would be more of a direct conversation, and then as the second year started and I was publishing the videos, I realized very quickly that I couldn't guarantee that I would be doing anything remotely similar to what I was doing a year ago, or even be in a position where I could talk on that subject. So there are points where we collide and we line up, or where I directly respond to myself. But there are other large gaps where it is just kind of, it feels like two separate documentaries, two separate periods being filmed. I felt mainly really excited because for the majority of the year I'd kept it completely secret from my followers online. They just knew that I was working on something called a mystery project. It was only about 2 weeks from the launch that I announced what it was, and everyone started being excited for it. And I started getting really excited for it, mainly because you put so much effort into something and you get no return whatsoever. You're looking forward to the gratification of having people actually watch it, and also making a bit of money from those videos that you've been doing and getting nothing out of. The overall project didn't feel like I was making myself vulnerable, but I knew that there were certain episodes that were going to be uncomfortable. Pasping was working in a vacuum completely. I wasn't making it to be seen particularly. I wasn't getting any feedback apart from occasionally from close friends or family. I wasn't getting likes, I wasn't getting comments. I was creating without any real input apart from me. I think it was a lot harder to think of things to do because I wasn't being suggested things and I wasn't getting feedback on what people would like to see more. And then, so on the other side, on the flip side, Future Bing was more of a learning curve because I was getting feedback and I was able to respond to that feedback. And although Pasping wouldn't change stylistically at all, he would do whatever he did regardless of what people were saying. I had the chance to respond and change and grow. In the second year, I've always had a lot to talk about, so responding to Pasping almost became like a backup plan. If he had something specific that I could talk about, or if I didn't have anything that I wanted to particularly talk about, I could then respond to him. I've enjoyed the periods where he hasn't had much to talk about. I haven't been asked a direct question, so I can just do whatever I want. And it's still true to whatever happened that day, which is nice. Oh yeah, absolutely. When you film yourself or for a whole year, you become very critical of yourself. So I've tried not to repeat mistakes that Pasping has. I try not to use, like if he uses language in a stupid way, I will learn from that and not say that kind of thing again or phrase it differently. Not all of it comes from watching it again. Some of it just comes from having done it in the first place. So I had experiences from the pressure of making these videos every other day. By the time I'm watching it again this year, it kind of ingrained in my memory because I edited it as well. I shot it and I edited it. I relived it the day or the day after it happened, and then again a year later. So I'm kind of seeing it, but I know it all already. The process of making Pasping was more informative than actually reliving it, which just kind of would just bring back smaller details.